Let's take one.
Well, as a co-mediator, I was very excited because I had just gone through the workshop. I had learned the skills that I wanted to actually apply in practice. However, when I got the papers, I thought to myself, oh my goodness, the allegations leveled against each other in those papers suggested to me that it was so acrimonious that the parties may not even bother to discuss very much or even try to amicably resolve, and they would just go ahead with the mediation and then walk out within half an hour. However, I went into the mediation with an open mind, myself together with the co-mediator, practiced active listening, and we discovered a key breakthrough which allowed happily for the mediation to actually settle.
I was very blessed to be able to do this case, under the auspices of SIMC. I was very ably supported by the SIMC colleagues, and it was truly an unusual experience because it was an online mediation. We were not able to close it on the day itself. I didn't want to lose that momentum because I felt we had come so far, and this was something that was bridgeable. And so I was quite perseverant and intentional to follow up with both sides' counsel and to see what I could do even through emails following on from the mediation, and to also be able to impress on them that in a difficult economic time, it is important to find cost-effective solutions of this nature. And voila, I think all the efforts by counsel and the parties having some time to reflect as well after the mediation proper at SIMC saw the light and inked the deal.
One of our interesting experiences with the SIMC this year was a virtual mediation that took place across 5 different jurisdictions, completely virtually, not in person. And the jurisdictions were London, Geneva, Dubai, India, Singapore. This was a dispute from the energy sector between 2 international energy companies. Interestingly, the case had no connection with Singapore. The arbitration seat was actually London, but the parties selected the SIMC to administer the case because of SIMC's global reputation as a specialist mediation center. And I have to add that the SIMC did a fantastic job, and it was a very successful experience.
That was an interesting one. It was a fully online mediation, and the parties were not conversant in English. Instead, they were conversant in Mandarin Chinese as well as Hokkien or Teochew. So we had to face the parties on the computer screen, and they were in their respective law firms, and try to understand the issues. And obviously, we had to try to build rapport and trust with the parties. One of the most important lessons from the course by SIMC.
It was a great privilege to co-mediate with George. I have had him as mediator before, but I think it was quite different in the seat of co-mediator of him, obviously with him taking the lead. I basically had like the front row seat of the magic of mediation with George.
The skills that I picked up at the workshop was useful because as I watched George in action, we both had a tag team kind of role. So I followed George and observed him, and there were times when he let me lead certain aspects of the mediation. So it started off as a challenge, but ended up it was a very good experience co-mediating with Mr. George Lim in that particular dispute.
It's been really good because even though I do the main mediation, I also learn from them because they can give me input, they can give me feedback as we go along. And the proof is actually at the end. When you ask the parties, to give us feedback, and then the feedback has been fantastic.